Versatile Mage. Chapter 207 Tomb of Ancient City. As they entered winter, there were no signs of snow. Originally, the farther north you went, the more snow you'd see. The interesting thing was that Shanghai did have the winter air, and Hangzhou had a little bit of snow falling down. With the snowflakes landing on this city like a paradise, it made it look increasingly fascinating. Mo Fan also understood why Xingxia wanted to come here. Compared to Mo Fan, who was a country boy set on living in the big city, Xingxia was different. She only wanted to live in a tranquil, aesthetic city with mountains, rivers, and bridges. Xingxia's school was relatively close to Sihu. When Mo Fan got to Hangzhou, he didn't hastily go and pick her up. Instead, he was intent on taking her out for a stroll. They slowly walked past the long dike. On both sides were willow trees waving in the breeze, and in the distance was the gleaming reflection of waves in the sunlight, clear and crystalline. Even further away were mountains, some tall and some small. There were temples and kiosks, and on the other side many tall buildings reflected against the river. After passing through the dike, they arrived at the scenic area of the Lefeng Pagoda. Mo Fan looked at the new pagoda and its former location. Just when he was pondering something, a person who seemed to be a local beside him mysteriously said, "Little brother, is this your first time here? He, what you are looking at is the former location of the Lefeng Pagoda. According to the old people, a white snake was once excavated from this area." "A white snake? How big?" Mo Fan asked, interested. "It should at least be this thick." After saying it, the tanned local made a hugging motion. "That big?" Mo Fan was startled. What the hell? If a snake was that big, then it was basically a magical beast. No one was able to kill it at that time. In the end, some great master used his own life to seal it up. The local man glanced left and right, as though he was saying some big secret. Unable to kill it. That amazing. Then where was it sealed in the end? Mo Fan conveniently asked. Possibly within the new Lefeng Pagoda, or it could also be beneath the broken bridge. It's also possible that it is on the three pools mirroring the moon, or near the Bai Causeway. Look, I have a handbook guide here. It introduces the legends and guides to other scenic areas. 1 for 5 RMB. From one glance, I could tell you are someone who likes to explore the truth. Seeing how you are destined for this, I will sell this to you for only 4 RMB, the tanned local said. 4 RMB, that's pretty cheap. However, sir, I think the big snake story isn't enough to attract people. What if you changed the big snake to a person, turn it into a fairy, who in turn met a man on the broken bridge? The two fall deeply in love, but some great master did not like this, so he decided to seal the snake girl's essence beneath the Lefeng Pagoda. For the book of this story, you should ask someone to draw a couple of beautiful bubbles. That way, there'll be many ladies and youths who will buy it. Since it seems like you are destined for this story, I will sell the copyrights to you cheaply, only 9 RMB. Mo Fan raised his eyebrows. The local man was startled. He felt this little fella did have some logic behind his words. The issue was, how did his attempt to sell things turn into him being asked to buy something? Xingxia, sitting in her wheelchair, heard Mo Fan and the local man talking gibberish with deadpan faces, and couldn't help but laugh. Fluttering around here and there, the two men ultimately were unable to sell things to one another, and ended it abruptly. After the person selling the maps left, Mo Fan continued to push Xingxia around the pagoda before saying, "How come this guy doesn't have any common sense? Has he never heard of the legend of Madam White Snake?" "I've also never heard of it," Xingxia said. "Oh, it doesn't exist here. I thought the history here was exactly the same, so this kind of folklore should also be the same." Mo Fan was a little surprised. "I don't understand what you're saying." Xingxia looked confused. "Didn't I tell you once before? I am a man that came from a different world. In that world, we don't learn magic. Although we do have the Qin dynasty, Sui dynasty, and Tang dynasty, since the animals were replaced with magical beasts, much of the folklore turned out differently," Mo Fan said with a straight face. Xingxia couldn't help but whisper, I'm no longer a child, how could I believe what you're saying? Even you won't believe me. It seems like I can never prove that I'm from a different world, Mo Fan said with a bitter smile. But you're still you, Xingxia said. Mo Fan was slightly startled. He originally wanted to use this kind of excuse to conceal his foibles, but Xingxia's words suddenly caused him to ponder and feel relieved of his tension. Seeing Mo Fan deep in thought, Xingxia thought she had said something wrong. Her little voice changed the subject as she said, Brother Mo Fan, one of my history teachers said that people from our Bo city are very special. What did he say? Mo Fan asked. Do you remember the underground holy spring? It has a really long history, dating back to over 200 years before the Common Era, Xingxia told him. Oh, it's like that. Then after nearly 2,000 years passed, the area around the underground holy spring must have had a lot of stories happen. Then, why do they say that we, the people from Bo City, are special? Mo Fan asked. The teacher said that the people from Bo City were most likely protected by the underground holy spring. Bo City in the past was only a small village, and was ordered by an ancient sovereign king to guard the underground holy spring for years. However, with the passing of time, the protectors continuously grew in numbers. This caused the small village to turn into a town, and after many years, the town became a city. With the entrance of new people, the change of lords in the city, and the overthrowing of feudal society, Bo City finally developed into what it is today. The protectors had long ago disappeared without a trace, along with the passing of time, or the entire city was actually filled with protectors, Xingxia said sincerely. Mo Fan eagerly listened. He couldn't help but think of those people from the Black Vatican. The people from the Black Vatican seemed to have some kind of objective when they destroyed Bo City. Could it be that the destruction of Bo City was closely tied to the history of the protectors? However, this was something from over 2,000 years ago. Were the protectors really that important? Was their objective really the underground holy spring? The underground holy spring was currently in his own hands. In that case, the thing the Black Vatican wanted had always been in his own hands. Shit, doesn't that mean I'm in danger? Those Black Vatican animals really dared to do anything. They even massacred a whole city. The events of Blood Alert was something Mo Fan could still vividly remember. What else did your history teacher say? Mo Fan asked. He was speculating based on some historical records. He said if you wanted to find the truth, you'd have to go to some kind of ancient tomb and explore there. However, there were a lot of dreadful creatures within that tomb. Up until today, there hasn't been a single magician who has truly entered the mysterious tomb. Xingxia informed him. Tomb? What tomb? Mo Fan pressed automatically. The ancient city has a tomb. It's inside the most famous spectral land of our country. Brother Mo Fan, did you not hear about it during your classes? Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.